Welcome back to another episode of Inside Richmond, the city's pulse. I'm Lindsay Darnell, your host, and today we have Karen Chasteen with us. She is the City Clerk for the City of Richmond. Karen, thank you for joining me.
Well, you're welcome.
So I wanted to bring you on here to talk about your role and what your office does, to just clarify and let the public know what services you offer. So can you give us an overview of what the City Clerk's office does?
Well, according to the state code, when I took office, it was to take notes at common council meetings and to keep the city seal.
Okay.
It's much more than that.
Much more than that?
Uh-huh.
So
yes.
You do keep all of the records.
We have 200 years of history in my vault, and we've archived every bit of them to our document management system so that people can access them from home on their computers.
And they can find that on the city's website?
Yes, they can.
And they just go to the City Clerk's part on the website?
No, actually, you can go into departments, and then it'll have public records.
Okay.
And you can go into that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the most common misconceptions people have about your role?
I think they think all we do is take notes and keep the city seal. But we have so many things we do. We take care of Common Council, Board of Works, Richmond Power and Light Board. We make sure that their information is ready for them when they have meetings. We take care of the documents afterwards to make sure that they're processed properly, and we file them, we archive them. I think those are probably the longest things that we do. But we have so many people that come into our office for things like bus passes, parking permits, dog tags, you name it. We're the hub. And if a department needs some research done, they call us, and I love research anyway, so we can usually find their answer for them.
And you're a lifelong resident of Richmond, right?
Except for a few years I lived in Arizona. Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot of history in this town.
Oh my gosh, yes. Music, sports, especially music, I think. Mm-hmm. We're the cradle of recorded jazz, so
yes.
It's kind of important.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, how does your office interact with the public on a daily basis?
We have every walk of life that walks into our office, like I said, for dog tags, but all those things, but also ordinance violations. We receive the money for those. And, of course, we have to keep databases on all of those so we can report to whoever needs it, the law department, or if we send stuff over to the court eventually,
Something else I wanted to bring up that I just thought about, you actually are ordained to marry couples, correct?
Yes, that's part of the job.
Okay.
Yes, and I've done over 2,000 of them since I've been in office.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, they either love me or hate me. You never know.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me, your office handles public records and transparency. How can residents access important city documents if they don't have internet or a computer?
Well, they can do a public records request, and that now has to go through the law department. We could receive them. We'll let them know we have it, and then we forward it on up to the law department, and they make sure it's taken care of.
And then you guys can make a copy, or law department makes a copy for the resident asking. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I know that was something I wanted to let people know. Yes, it's accessible on our website, but you can come in person. It's just a longer process.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
What steps does the city take to ensure transparency and accessibility in government?
I think our document management system is a big part of that, because you can, find it on your computer. Just about anything in our history. If you walk into my vault, there's 200 years of history in there, and every bit of that now is on Laserfish, which is our document management system. Mm-hmm. And that you can access through public records online. So you can find anything you want. And if you need help with it, call us. We'll help walk you through it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's very helpful for you guys to take that steps and walk someone through on the phone.
We really like to help people. We have people, like I said, we have disadvantaged people that come in. We have people that really need help, not necessarily in just buying a bus pass, but we've helped them find community services that can help them, homeless, whatever. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Are there any upcoming initiatives to make public information more easily available?
Not that I know of. I know that there are a couple of things coming in July. I'm not sure it changes what we do to make sure that we have all the information online. And there's only one thing I think they're adding that we don't do now. We have live streams for all of our meetings. But then to have recordings of those online also, we haven't been doing that. We just have it available if they need it, but we're going to be start to do that.
In July. Okay. So how does your office support the city council and local government operation?
We take care of all their paperwork. We make sure they have everything that they need to run a nice, smooth meeting. And when they have things that go to committee, then they have to come back to us and say, okay, put this on the agenda so we can talk about it more. So we kind of organize that. It's not rocket science. It's just maintaining it.
So you maintain their agendas, their minutes.
Yes, and make sure all the documents are signed afterwards.
Okay.
Because sometimes you have to have council sign it. You have to have the mayor sign it. Resolutions have to have everybody sign it. And now Board of Works is another thing that we take care of in our office, and the deputy really handles that well. And all the contracts that go to Board of Works, she has to make sure that they're signed by the mayor and sent to the department so that vendors can sign it and then bring it back. And then we always have the originals in our vault filed, but we have them on Laserfish also.
And so the public can access those contracts and look at them if they're curious.
Exactly. RP&L is the same way. We take care of their board stuff. So.
Okay. What are some of the biggest challenges you face in keeping council records and meeting minutes organized?
I don't know that we have a challenge, really. I mean, we've walked it through since I took office 22 years ago. Everything was done by hand. We had to do our packets, 9 packets for them. We had the police department deliver them to their doors. And then when we became more digital, we can send it out on email, and which makes it a lot better. I don't think we have challenges, though. We just have to be organized about it.
Which you guys do a really good job, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So tell me, what are some of the, can you walk us through how a typical city council meeting is documented and archived?
Well, of course, they always have their agendas ahead of time, so they know what's coming. And I read them. I read the first reading or second reading. First reading is when we introduce it to the public. And then they either refer it to a committee or talk about it a little bit. Some will go through that night and move it to public hearing and second reading. But second reading is when there is a public hearing and that the audience can comment, which is important. And but if it's been referred to a committee, then the second reading is when that committee makes its recommendation because they've already reviewed it, they've analyzed it, done whatever, especially tax abatements and rezoning things. It has to be maybe referred back to planning and zoning. And when those recommendations are made, then we have a public hearing on it. Then they'll vote. And after they've voted, I do very few notes because we record everything. So I can run that recording again in the office and figure out who said what. And then we make sure it's signed and we scan it into Laserfish so that anybody can see them. But we also keep the paper copies and we also put them in the archived books in our vault. So that's pretty much it. And that's the way it is with RP&L and also Board of Works is pretty much the same routine.
Which I know a lot of people, if they're watching the council meetings from home, they'll see you sitting up there and you'll do roll call. And
we read by title only. Thank you. We could have to read them every word of an ordinance or something. And when it's 50 pages long, that's a lot. But we we don't do the rules. We can just read it by title only. And that's nice. And if they need to know anything in it, they'll talk about it. It's different sections and maybe analyze it a little bit. So we're not keeping it secret.
Okay. Have there been any recent or upcoming initiatives from the clerk's office that residents should know about?
Well, we've done a couple of things. We've worked with the mayor's office on increasing some of our fees because they haven't been increased for 25 or 30 years. Like parking permits, they were $15 a month for 25 years, and we recently increased that to 30, but when you compare it to other cities, they charge $30 an hour sometimes. So ours are still minimal, but we did have to do that. Also, with our alarm permits that are renewable every 2 years, we've raised it from $10 to $20. And they're important. Again, those have not been increased for 20 or 25 years, so I felt like we needed to do it. Mm-hmm. And to change some things in our animal ordinance about registering your dogs and what you need to do and what's mandatory.
So registering your dogs, do you also have to register your cats?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Can you give us a brief description on what they need to register their pet?
Well, you have to have your vaccinations papers, but specifically rabies.
Okay.
If they don't have the rabies documentation, we can't give them a dog tag. They'll have to bring it back. But it's just that we have to verify the sex, the breed, if it's been neutered or whatever, But the rabies is the biggie. And that's not to make money. That's on public health, so that we have our animals vaccinated.
And how much does it cost to register your pet?
$15 a year, or half a year could be, we do 6 months, but then also if they've been neutered, it's half that.
Oh, okay. So there's a discount. And this is just to, have your pet registered. You know that your animals had their vaccines. You know who the animal belongs to.
Yes, if they get out and somebody finds them, there's a tag that they wear. It has a number on it. And we have that in our office, so we can tell them who it belongs to. Our animal control officer relies on that also. So
it's just an extra step to make sure if they do get out, there is that extra step that could be found. Okay. How do you see the role of the city clerk evolving with changes in technology and governance?
I don't know. It changes with every mayor. Our routine does. But I don't know what's coming up. I mean, I do know that there's more AI, that could impact our office, but I haven't seen it yet. So we just take it as it comes and adapt to it. And my staff is really nice and good about it. They're very smart and they can do that. So
your office has 3 people.
Deputy and an ordinance violation specialist.
Okay.
And that's who you see when you walk in the door.
Yes. Okay. So tell me a little bit about, let's go back to you being a lifelong resident. Tell me a little bit about you said 22 years as a city clerk. Did you have any other positions within the city prior?
I did. Back in the 60s, when Byron Clutie was the mayor, I started to work for the city engineer and really liked that. But then when the city engineer went off and did a private practice, I kind of went with him. And then, I don't know, that just wasn't the same as government. And so I stopped doing that, and then I was worked over at Test Junior High for a year, and then I came back and worked for the mayor and the controller for until we lost an election, and that changes things. So, I did do that, and that was about 4.5 or 5 years that I worked for the city, and then when I came back, it's been, like I said, this is the 22nd year for this.
So I was kind of going through Laserfish. This has been months ago, but there was actually a photo of you when you were young in the city building, which, just seeing that history and then talking to you too, I thought that was really neat.
Well, I have a lot of history in my office. I have pictures that the police photographer used to take pictures of all the women that worked in the building. I have pictures of Don McBride with his lion cub, brought it up on our way to the vet, things like that. When we dedicated the city building, I worked here then, and I've got pictures of the crowd then, and that's kind of cool. So it's just, if they need to know something about it, usually they come to our office to find out.
Because you have all that information
and
archived.
It's historic knowledge. It's like when something comes before council that has a history back here. If I remember it, I can pull up some of the documents and provide them with some of the history so they know what's going on now too. So that's kind of neat.
So you are the history keeper for the city.
I don't know about that, but I do like history. I love history and I love research. So that kind of fits me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Karen, is there anything else that you would like the public to know about your office, or any ways that they can reach out to you if they do need assistance?
Well, they can call the city building. They can either call the main number or call 983-7232.
And then they can also come in and
They can
on
walk
the second
in.
floor?
You have to come in through the police department and up to the second floor, and we're the last office on the right going south.
Okay.
And there's somebody there all the time. We try not to close during lunch unless it's an emergency, because people come in there during their lunch hours, and we don't want to have it vacant. So, yeah.
So another big thing I want people to know is that you guys sell the bus passes there.
Yes, we do. We didn't used to. I mean, we didn't used to sell a lot of the things at the city building. They had to go down to the bus garage. But we talked to them, and we kind of took that over. We can do ride tickets now. We can do all the documentation and turn the money in. It goes to the right account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Karen, I want to say thank you for coming and joining me and getting the information about what your office, the services you provide, and ways that the public can reach out to you if they're wanting any records. Thank you for joining me.
We know who to ask also.
Yes. If you don't have the answer,
We know who to ask.
who to ask.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, great.
Well, thanks.
So this is Inside Richmond, the city's pulse. Until next time.